may have not really, you may not have shown me, you may not have shown me what I deserved in the moment, but you always have my back. So I saw this YouTube short that I really love, and Iris Films ATL posted it, IRIS FILMS ATL, and it's about this emotional toast between brothers, for a brother and his brother that's getting married. There's at least 3 brothers. So at the beginning of the clip, the dad is like rubbing his eyes, and then the son who is giving the speech for the brother, beautiful black family. Just like, oh my God, he is so emotional. And he was like, you know, besides our father, you're the one who set the standard. You're an example to us all about, you know, what it's like to be a man, to take care of the people you love, to be a provider. And, you know, you always have my back. And then he was like, you know, even when I may not have deserved it, you showed me love, you know, in that moment. And you know, it was just really emotional. It was really beautiful. And I was just thinking about how, you know, former family. I remember telling my family, it's 2025, July 31st. It's the day before my mother's 5-year anniversary of her passing in a house fire. She passed August 1st, 2020. So, and the next day, August 2nd, will be my 6-year anniversary for painting, and also my 4-year anniversary of being officially homeless and not having seen anybody that I know pre-2020. So I have a new life. But I remember, I don't know if I said I'm 47. I just turned 47 in May. I remember maybe back before 2010 that I would be like, I didn't want to form relationships based on blood. I would tell, these are the people that I share blood with on my mother's side. Definitely my brother at the time. And so I would be like, you know, it's not, I didn't know how to say it properly, but I did say, you know, that I didn't, that blood was not the bonding fact of us being together. You know, I love you, and I want to be in a loving, or a healthy relationship, not based on the past of our trauma. Let's, you know, we're in our 20s now, we're in our whatever age, 30s, and be like, you know, our generation can move forward. Let's just, you know, because there was love, I thought, or love to the capacity that there could be. But obviously my soul was wanting more. And also putting on notice, like, and previous to that, you know, when I was a kid, I was on my own a lot. I've never been fussed about blood. And then in my mid-20s, I got really serious about it because I was helping break generational curses. And so, you know, not everybody was understanding about that back in the early 2000s. And so then I was really kind of focused on my blood. And I was also focused on the people that I could be with in a quiet way or in a fun way, or both. No, it never really broke down. But when I saw the toast, I was just thinking how important family is. Like, that would be the best thing. That would be like, that's the happiest thing that I can think of. Just, you know, creating love together and letting that love just go out into the world, just knowing that these are folks that I'm caring for in my home, in my present vicinity. And especially with a partnership, because I don't know, I might foster, I might adopt, I don't know, but and with a partner, with even without, but just to be able to be like to share what I've cultivated within myself, which is to be thankful to God every morning that I wake up. No matter what's going on, I can say thank you because I woke up and this is an opportunity to live. And some things happen like this, and it might be a bad thing. It seems like a bad thing, or it is. It's devastating. It's like, what? But things can change just like that too, right? So I'm just thinking about all the time that I spent with my family, traveling back and forth, city to city. I'm living my own life, and that's what I would be like. There's so many things that I said that just didn't make sense because of the way that I looked and the way that I was carrying my load in a perception. But I would be like, this is not what it looks like, because I knew at that time that people were projecting. And I knew at that time that I was a mirror. And I knew that, I didn't know at that time that I was projecting my love. I didn't know what I was projecting. I just knew that I was a mirror and that I was holding space of unconditional love, compassion, practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness it ended up being default by that point. Early 20s is when that came to. And I've talked about this in previous videos. It's a gift from God. I was asking years and years and asking everybody that I met around me, given the chance, family, strangers, what was forgiveness. And then at some point I got the gift of it, but it was years and years. And so I think it might have been the desire that I wanted to know, and I wanted to be able to do that and share that with whoever I came into contact with, or and just practice, just practice it. And it's complicated. It's gotten more complicated in the last few years. So, still growing with forgiveness. But anyways, I guess I'm just in my feelings, with the anniversaries coming up. The one today, okay, this is like, and I'm laughing, and this is good actually, because when I can laugh about it, that means that it's healed to the capacity that I can, besides talking about it and expressing it and sharing it. The emotions they're still there, and I can cut it off. I can be like, I can tell myself, like a light switch, or like I might have talked about this before too, like the spectrum of colors, like to be able to use them all, and then also to use none of them. So that's the idea of emotional regulation, being a master of emotions, being a master of respecting emotions, being able to process without expressing, being able to express without judging, being able to not be afraid of any emotion that's come up, because I'm a full human being. And to utilize all of them, which I do in my paintings, and to be able to dim them or cut them off, which I've been able to practice in this homeless journey over the last 4 years, meeting so many types of people that I would have never been able to encounter, and then healing myself from painful personal situations that I've been through. And I'm smiling because I have been good and meek this whole time. There's always been this joy and this love inside, and now I get to express it. The things that have happened, especially in the last 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, have been on top of something that is, foundation is already here. Somebody was telling me the other day that about the lotus, you know. And I think the lotus grows in dark, but I know that it grows through the mud. I'm like, yeah. You know, I was like, yeah, that's been what it is. The joy was always there. It was suppressed, and I was bullied as a weird word to be used here, but I would say disrespected, belittled, perhaps, called naive, called rose-colored glasses, called all these things instead of just being maybe ask questions about how I am the way I am, my philosophy, and just getting to know. And this is, I'm talking about family. Getting to know. I listened all the time. I listen with my heart. When I travel to people, I sit there with my presence. I listen. And I loved. And I felt loved, but not whole, not for my, and that's hard for people. I don't know, but I wasn't accepted for the goodness that I was, the essential person that I was. I was doubted, and that hurt. And that hurt. Doubted sincerity, honesty, truthfulness. And there was jealousy. So the jealousy and disbelief were the ones that just, and that's rejection. That's constant rejection. And that's constant me trying to find my self-worth. And in 2019, for sure, August 2nd, 2019, when I got the gift of the paintings, I felt first word that I didn't say was complete. Then I felt vindicated, and then I was like, this, I get to show what I've been doing, you know. I get to show, like, when a person looks at the work, they get to see whatever they get to see. It's a mirror, it's a reflection, it's a game, it's a portal, it's a story, it's jokes. It's seriousness too, it's healing, it's travels, it's journeys. It's stories that people have told me that that are private and that are precious, and I get to share it in a beautiful, colorful way. No matter, I've heard tragic stories, and I've experienced my own. But before I could hear a lot of those stories, I had healed a lot of the things that I had been through. So I was able to be of service that way. It's always, God is so good. The divine order and the divine timing. It's always a step ahead. I always have just gotten through something, and then I can meet somebody and help them, or just pass on. When I say help, assist, support, guide, it's pass on what I've learned and pass on what I and channel, because I'm a channel, the love that is for them, whether that's their higher self, whether that's their ancestors, God. You know, some people don't. There are people who don't believe in God, but the people who do, when they say that they're a person of God, I'm like, okay. And so, what do I want to say? I know I wanted this to be just what it is from a consciousness, because I am hurting in a. It's like when you have a headache or you have a pain and you take pain medication, and sometimes the pain's not there, but the pulsing is still there, or there's some indication that something's not right. That's how I feel right now. It's not numb. There's an awareness, but there is. I'm spiraling through time. That's what's happening. I'm hitting the notes of the anniversaries, and then what happened between that year, and then what happened between the 2 years, the 3 years, the 4 years, the 5 years, and now the 6 years for the painting. So it goes back 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and technically 7 year. I had a car accident and I didn't have insurance and I couldn't walk, and that whole August 2018 to 2019 was spent trying to get insurance, then trying to get a doctor to give me a referral to get to the orthopedic surgeon to see what could be done with my left leg. And at that point, I hadn't been able to work for over 6 months. December 2018, I was doing lighting, backstage theater work, making really good money, and a couple times I had to be carried off stage during rehearsal, maybe once, which couldn't do it. My leg was locked up, and then I couldn't really walk on it, and then it got atrophied. It was like a thing. It was a thing. And right before August 2nd, 2019, like July-ish, I had met somebody who was working to help trans people get jobs, and for our betterment. I met him at a job fair, but I knew him before online because it was kind of small in LA. Well, it might have been a California group. So anyways, that July, I just got to see the orthopedic person. I got a proper brace because I had this kind of not good brace, like the ones that you can get at grocery stores or emergency rooms, just not. But I got a fitted brace. I could hold my weight on it, on my leg again, for not a lot, but and then the friend that so this is in July. So the friend that I was previously just talking about, he bought over, I had always thought if I had a pen and a piece of paper, I could do anything. So anywhere you go, you can get a pen or a piece of paper. I never could run out of paper. I'm a writer. So I thought, that's never going to happen. And by July of 2019, it happened, and it's mainly because I couldn't walk and I didn't have anybody to go any place for me, and I was just really alone. So I called, and maybe at that time it was hard for me to ask me for stuff. I was so isolated, and at this time in my life, I had been a lot of mental pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain. I had grown up with that, but this was the first time, I was 40. This was the first time that I had physical pain on top of it, and unrelenting, and not being able to move. I was always active, and so it was just like, it was really, really difficult. And so I had messaged this friend and asked him, did he have any copy paper? And he said he was going to get back to me, and then he didn't get back to me that day. And I knew he worked close by, but I also was impressing people. When I was in a point there, if I said something, if I've asked, then they know, and then it's up to them. And at that time I was also practicing, if we make plans and they cancel, then let it just be what that is. I don't have to chase. So that was what was happening in 2019. Well, anyways, he bought a backpack. Instead of bringing the copier paper only the next day or within a couple days, he bought a backpack full of art supplies. And it was like colored pencils, drawing paper, copy paper, I'm pretty sure. What else? Markers. Just awesome, right? Just awesome. Notebooks to write. And a little acrylic paint set, they're little, 1.5 ounce, like small, like that. And there was maybe 8, and I still have them. I've used them, but they're down to but sometimes I'll paint with all my first year's paint, to have that because they were gifts. I got gifts. And so I wanted it to be all in the Word, because I felt like it was the accumulation of my life's travels, people who I shared times with, people who have been kind to me, who have been that it was all worth it, that it was worth it on my part, and it was worth it on that I wasn't a waste, just because I wasn't doing things the way that, just because it looked like I was struggling, and maybe I was, and I know that I was, but for a spiritual level, which sustained me, God, I was being of service to God. You know, being wherever God placed me, and also navigating the world in front of me that I was dealing with, right? So anyways, I had always wanted to paint, and I thought, okay, I might as well try. And that first painting was, I knew right away, it was like click, 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 click. And it was all my spirituality, all my poems, music, stories, film ideas, screenplays, short film. It was everything, all my dreams, everything was in that first piece. And I was like, and it felt like my lifetime was coming to a close, and all my lifetimes were coming to a close. It felt like click, 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 down to the moment. And I felt God say, enough, rest. And it was just on from there. A couple weeks later, I got the referral to get into physical therapy. And the appointment wasn't that long, and you know how long appointments go out. You can imagine it was maybe a week. Come on now. And I got into physical therapy, and a lot of things happened in those last 4 months of 2019 that I've also talked about in previous videos. It's been so hard, but it was so good having that gift, and that's what sustained me. If I hadn't had that, I wouldn't be here. And so the last 6 years, I have made over 1,200 pieces. I haven't counted in the last couple of years, but it was over 1,000 in 2023. First became homeless 2021. No, that's not it. Holy crap, I did wrong math. I don't know if I can publish this one. August 2nd, 2019, I got the gift of the paintings. August 1st, 2020, my mom passed. August 2nd, 2021, is when I became homeless. By the next August, I was in a place. By the next August, I was at a homeless shelter. That was August 2023. By the next August 2024, I was at this homeless shelter. So it's been a little over a year being at this one. And so, and I've gotten healthy here from the streets. Because in between two of the shelters, I was back for a little, for just, so, and I met so many people. I met some good people. But when I got back here to this one, and like I said, it's been over a year, a little over a year, I changed my focus because I knew that I was I felt like I had done all I could. Like I felt like I had healed as much as I could on my own, and that I was just ready to move on. So when I got here, there was a lot that I was doing at the beginning, getting mental health services, getting my doctor thing in line, Medi-Cal, just to be taking care of my health again in a proper way, and to have a roof over my head, food that is available 24 hours, a bathroom, even when things are not, there are always things, cleanliness, people's attitudes, drugs, alcohol, mental illness, violence, not a lot, people transitioning from the woods to the shelter, jail to the shelter, abusive households to the shelter, abusive relationships to the shelter. So a lot of different personalities and just a lot of different things, and just but the social services that I've experienced in Sacramento, as I've went through them, I've only met good people with good intentions. A lot of people are overworked, so I've been blessed to not meet jerks, or because I know that I've heard of them, I just haven't. Even if I'm in a place with there's 5 different counselors, I usually get a good one, So, and I've been able to share my life with people, and it was really important that I do it with the people in front of me, the people in my physical presence, because I wanted to see what the world was like in my world, not just a larger world, the World Wide Web, the internet. Having been involved in various forums, various social media since 2006 or before, 2009 seriously, all the way to 2019 December. So that's Facebook, then it became Snapchat, Instagram, the other ones, all of the things, AOL, yeah, but those were before. MySpace was before. Friendster. I don't know if people remember Friendster, but just being really excited about online, just being able to be connected all over the world. So I did that, and then I wanted to. In my mind, I just said settle down. So I wanted to be more in my present, even though I was always in my present. My present was reaching out. My present was making connections all over the world. Forums, fandoms, shared interests, good reads. I was thinking about books. That's why I smiled. Film, then being in school from 2010 to 2017. No. Yeah, 2010 to 2017 officially. Because I was going to go back to for my last semester in January 2018. And graduated May 2018 when I turned 40, the same weekend. But we got funding for our film a couple days or a couple weeks, I feel like it was a couple days, before I was heading back to go to finish my last semester. So I stayed in LA. And that year is when I got hit by the car. Crossing the crosswalk. So, where did I go with the dates? Why did I go back? August So August from 2024 to August 2025. Somewhere around October, I felt as healthy as I could be while living in a homeless shelter. That's what I told my case manager. So I felt really triumphant, and I was like, okay, I've done it. So now how do I get out of this? You know, because I couldn't be alone and heal like I had been in 2018 and 2019. That year, I had a person who lived at the place that I lived, but he worked, and then when he came home, he didn't talk. It was just like I was a non-human. It was like, but now I know that he was going through. I mean, obviously somebody's going through that if they can't interact with you. So, but it was really lonely, and you know, and I had people who were near, but I might see them once in a while. People had lives. And I have my life, and my life was dealing with what I deal with and had to deal with to the best of my capability. But also 2018. How am I bringing that here up? Okay, so to get to today, that's weird. Okay, so I'm just going back, and bear with me. It just turned 31 on the when I looked at the or not bear with me. Obviously, if you're still here, you're cool. To now, I didn't paint much this year. And in the last 3 years, I hadn't painted a lot. And when I say a lot, I think I had 70-something pieces last year. This year, as far as complete pictures, I might have 12, I might have 16. But I have one that I've been working on all month, or since the 4th, 5th. But, you know, that's pretty much the whole month, and I love it. And I'm almost done. And I started 2 others. No, 3 others. But this coming back, I wanted to paint every day in July, and I have. Because I wanted to start my new year off, this new next cycle, healed. You know, I can walk. I can ride my bike. I can recognize, I guess that's what I'm doing, recognize what I've been through, what I don't want to be too sad at this time. I wanted to be coming into this August with health and hope. And I always have it, but to be able to express it has been good. And I think this year's been tough, but I can see my value, and I can see the value of where I've been placed. The faith thing. My faith is strengthened. My faith in God has been strengthened because for a multitude of reasons. But when things are really challenging and I'm really angry and really frustrated, I have to know and remember that God knows. Because God knows. And that I know how to conduct myself. Usually I can get out of situations by cracking a joke or saying something unexpected, or literally standing up, because a lot of times, or sometimes sitting down and people want to yesterday I had an incident by the river. where somebody put his hands on me. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know, not to hit me or whatever, but to kind of like, I don't know. People are weird. You shouldn't get that close enough to do that, right? So I was kind of like looking at him. It was a thing. It was a thing. And then when he was that close and he did that, I think he was expecting me to, I don't know. But I know that when it was coming up, Spirit was like, don't step back. I was like, "One second." I'm stepping back, you know. So when he was this, and he was like right in my face, I said, don't touch me. Why do you think you could touch a stranger? You know, like, I said, what did I say? I said, I'm a sovereign being. I have free will. And then I was like, I felt like there was some people have free will, some people don't. Some entities have free will, some entities don't. And when I say that and somebody would be like, I have free will too, it's like, my free will is to serve God in all that I do, and you are. So I said, because he was like, he walked away, and then I was just standing there, and then he was like kind of trying to come back, and I said, what did I say? I said, you don't know who you're touching. You don't know if I have demons around me. You don't know if I have angels around me. You need to, you know, and I was basically like, get away from me, you know. And then he walked further, and I was going to walk, and then I just turned and looked at him. And then I walked. And so that's an example of sometimes I'm like, I feel on my own. I'm tired of folks. I'm tired of folks testing. You know, but if I fight, if I do something, I'm taking a life. And I'm not taking nobody's life. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving life. I'm a life giver. So I'm not going to do that. So that's not going to happen. So that's in my spirit too. So I just have to know that I'm not alone, that my ancestors are with me, guardians. I have my guardians, my space guardians, my time guardians, my physical. So I know, but I also know that I can't let people run all over me. Come on. I have stuff to do. I'm too good for that. You know, I'm like, so when things, there are other things that if I'm having a hard time, I remember either I believe God or I don't, and that humbles me. Or it doesn't humble me, it brings me back to center. Because if I believe that the paintings were a gift from God, a hidden talent, a congratulations, I got this, I got the rest of this, come home. You know, I don't have to prove myself to nobody anymore. I don't have to, I'm consistent. I've shown myself. I have endured. All I have to do is be. And all I have to do is keep existing and growing and learning, and which I will as long as I am. And I'm here as long as God has me here. And wherever I am, it's not the same as like wherever I'm placed. It's more like my relationship with God has strengthened. It's different. It's more intimate. It's funner. It's as mysterious as God is. Like there's a word, I'm saying God, but it's a mystery. It's like can never wrap the mind around, but the heart is there, right? The heart is, I feel like, born from God's heart. Like God's mind, you know, that, like, so to go back to family and the emotional toast that was happening, I was like, man, I can't think of anything better than that. Like, I know that. So basically, people who have families, even people who have families that they might be taking for granted. It's hard to talk about the families that might be having a lot of old trauma coming up, and scapegoating, and black sheep, and things, entities infiltrating that, and spirit, all that. I'm not talking about that necessarily. I'm talking about recognizing the people that you have in your life, knowing that they could be gone at any moment, knowing that who you are and who you want to be and how you want to connect beyond. And it's just, especially if you have kids are ready. The kids will heal you. They might, depending on the relationship, it might be like, what? That heart is open, are real open to your honesty and to your transparency. So I guess I'm talking to anyone who feels disconnected from self, or disconnected from people they would like to be connected more with, or have I'm just saying, be grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I have, everything that I woke up and I have a phone to make this, this is my phone. I haven't had my own phone since 2018, since May 2018. And I got my phone this spring, right? So when I was in October of last year, when I was getting as healthy, like I started decreasing my dose of marijuana. So from October to all this time, I've been able to reduce it, and that's when I was able to afford my phone this spring and still be healthy. When I say healthy, is how I feel. If I can be happy, you cannot buy happiness. I will not tell you how little money I had in the last week, and I was like, holy fuck. I was like, I hadn't been this without money since April of 2024. I was like, oh man. And so this past week has been really fundamental. Like, okay, I still got me. I went out on one day last weekend with nothing. Not my phone, not my headphones, not my wallet, just me and the shoes and the clothes on my back. And I walked in a direction that I never walked before, and I saw stuff that I'd never seen before, and I didn't have anything with me. So I had already been practicing not smoking on my way back to the shelter, because something about it would be like, I want to have a hit before I go back to deal with whatever's in. So I've been weaning myself from that this month, and so to be able to leave, and then for morning walks, I've been kind of continuing that same thing, but I'm bringing my phone and my headphones. But I was going for 2.5 hours with that, and I really just needed a reset. I got really sad last week, really angry about something, and I can't, these are circumstances. It's temporary circumstances. And so I was just like, but I'm done. And how can I move on when right now I can't, I don't have the means to have a place or find a place or whatever. But how can I move on where I'm at? And I've done it a lot, but this one was so just a lot of changes. And I'm grateful to be able to speak to whoever is listening, and whoever has given me their time, because time is really valuable. It's really important to me. It's a resource. Just want to say thank you. Yeah. have family, love your family. Blood is not. Blood is what blood is. There's a what is the thicker than blood, but it's a longer version of that. It's like it's basically the wounds. The blood on the battlefield is thicker than the blood of family. And how I took that to, I can't remember the exact quote. If you have the internet, if you know the quote, you know it. But it's based on, blood is thicker than water. Blood of water, but it's the blood on the battlefield is thicker than the blood of the wound. So people kind of, that one it's an interesting, those are two interesting things. But part of me, as God's, God apostrophe S, is something belonging to God, is a creation of God. I just want to be with creations of God who know it, who believe it, who practice it, who that family of, I want to see what it's like to be surrounded by love. I was going to say love like mine. Love, I guess, yeah, because the main part of my love is fairness and justice. The expression of it is joy. Happiness, encouragement, support, silliness, all of that. But it's in the spirit of justice, in the spirit of freedom. And so I would like to be in situations where I'm not building beauty based on trauma that I can make. I want to know what it's like to create in without so much transmuting of things. I want to be able to create in love from the highest loving surroundings and people and circumstances. And I know that when I have my family, like if I ever have children that I'm responsible for rearing, guiding, and helping to make productive and good members of society. And by productive, I mean adding their creativity, their intelligence, their hearts, their whatever else they come with to the collective of humanity. These are ideals, right? Ideals plus love. These are ideals, but these are imaginations, and but I just feel like, I know that I could provide that home. And if it's my kids as pets, right? It's like, yeah. So I wanna work from home. That's the thing. I wanna work from home. I wanna through my art, make my art, my drawings, my paintings, my music, because I started, I want to create from a home space that's full of my energy, and then full of the energy that I create with the people that love me and who I love. I bring this good energy to every environment that I'm in. Being here at this shelter, anybody who goes back to my space, which nobody really should be back there. I have a person that sleeps across from me, so maybe 3 feet away. But he's out of all the people that he's not jealous or not competing with my happiness, or not thinking I'm stupid. Like, people be talking to me like, and I just have to let them because I have to be beginning, because I'm like, what am I gonna say? Like, I just have to let people find out for themselves. But I'm just like, and then mean, substance abuse substance abuse has been all of the issues for the ones that have been, and just haughtiness, is it called? And I'm like, we're all here. And I'll say that at some points, like when I'm talking to them, like, we all live at a homeless shelter. Why would you think that, some people were like, one guy I heard him saying, like, you think that you own walking around like you own the place, or you like, that's what you think. I'm living my life. Like, we are all here, which means something has not gone right. Our interrelated relationship, or something, when our relationships has gone wrong, or or something, in our relationship with ourselves, relationship with our others, or whatever. Right? We are here together. So I think that having the experience of family and friends before this journey helped, because the love that I have for the people in my environment are love that I have in general, and the love that I have for myself is very much the thing that I've been focused on, because that's the love, that's the God love, that's the relationship that I have with God is love, so it's like, and I haven't, this year of getting healthier, I stuck to myself. When I got here, there are people that I could tell that I could have been the same. Like, let me let me listen, let me sit here, and I do it when Spirit calls me to, yes, that's it. I don't sit myself down anymore and make myself available to whoever. I did not do that here. There are dogs here and cats here, and I love dogs. I walk dogs for a living. I work for Rover. I wasn't going to say the name for some reason, but I house sitted, I dog sitted. I did that for years. I love dogs. Here, I was like, I'm not going to do that, because I didn't want to get caught up. I know what it's like to take care of. I didn't want to, like, animals get adopted, or they get taken, or they get abandoned, they get and I have enough love to give based on the day and stuff. But I was like, I don't want to get emotionally involved that way, and I don't want to take care of other people's things that way, because I've been doing it, so I'm gonna take care of myself. So that's another reason why I'm so happy. I'm proud of myself for the choices that I made. And I was telling my because we have to check in with our case managers, it might be once a week, but I usually keep what I'm doing to myself until after the month, and then I'll say, this is what I worked on here, and then I'll give a little thing of what it's hard to describe. My personal goals I tell after I've done them. And then there are things that I have been working. I finished a project that I've been working on for 6 years. I finished that in the spring. How am I going to be talking to somebody that I've known for a few months about that? It sounds like, why aren't you, people have that idea, well, why aren't you doing this? If you could do this, why aren't you doing this? Because I'm building my life on the biggest happiness. And when I got the gift of the paintings August 2nd, 2019, I realized, because of, it was a fact, this was a gift from how I could trust. I don't do any pre-planning. Everything comes out as it comes out. I can trust the flow. And I was happy and secure, and I've lived that way since, and I was living that way before. So I can't go backwards. I can only move forwards, and I won't compromise my peace, for one. My happiness, my health. And these are not things that people can, no amount of money is worth that. You can't buy it. So why would I sell my time for, so I decided to just follow. Man, I don't know how things are going to go, but I know that what I've accomplished in a visible way in the last 6 years is undeniable. And it was intentional and purposeful. It has so much, it has perseverance, it has death. I have, man, it has ugliness that I, through God, have been able to make beautiful. Like, too. Ugh. So, yeah, love your family, love yourself as your family, love your neighbor as yourself, all that good stuff. Family is what you make of it. You might be your family. It might be a family of one. Love your family.